Hi there, I'm Adam Fell, a PhD student at the University of Stirling. I'm going to talk to you about a systematic review I have recently been carrying out on frugivorous animal tracking studies and the estimation of seed dispersal distances. Functional connectivity of plants and forests as a whole are primarily affected by how other organisms respond to changes in the landscape structure and composition. Therefore, changes to frugivore communities can negatively affect the recruitment success of plants and ultimately forest succession and regeneration. My publication search resulted in a total of 148 different studies that track the movements of frugivorous animals between 1978 and 2020. The tracking involved either GPS tags, radio transmitters, or resource tracking. These publications were then split into whether they used the tracking data to estimate seed dispersal distances or not. As you can see, around 2008, we see an influx of studies using GPS tags, which corresponds with an increase in the number of studies that start to estimate seed dispersal distance. From this map, we can see that a large proportion of these studies are typically undertaken within tropical biomes, but there are also a large number present in the temperate forests around Europe and North America. There are still large proportions of terrestrial areas which are yet to be explored by tracking technology, likely due to the lack of resources and facilities for fieldwork. As a result of this, we see a clustering of studies in hotspots where research stations are situated. In total, 155 different species were tracked across the studies, with 84 being bird species and 66 being mammals. Of these mammal species, 47% were either bat or flying fox species. Only 23% of species had repeated studies, suggesting that we are basing a lot of animal behavior assumptions on analysis from just a few individuals. Even though there was a wide range of species studied across the publications, the median weight of birds and mammals tagged was relatively small. The same is true for the median weight of species tagged with radio transmitters, whilst larger species are more likely to be tagged with GPS tags. The median weight of birds and mammals tagged by GPS units was larger than that of animals tagged by radio transmitters, despite advances in technology and miniaturization of tracking units. In total, 33 studies used GPS units, 104 used radio transmitters, and 12 used resource tracking methods. Of the studies reviewed here, the mean number of tags deployed per species per study was 16.6. When separated into taxa, there was relatively no difference between the number of days tracking devices were recording for and the number of locations collected. GPS tags in general were deployed for much longer time periods than radio tags and were also responsible for collecting almost 9 times the amount of data locations. We then focused on the studies which estimated seed dispersal distances for different species. A total of 61 studies calculated either the mean or maximum dispersal distance. We then modelled a number of different variables to see which significantly affected dispersal distances. Of these, we found that body mass had a significant effect on mean distance, with larger animals dispersing seeds further. There are also smaller but significant positive effects of human footprint index values and whether the study was conducted in a protected area. As with mean distances, maximum distances were also shown to increase with body mass. However, we also see a large significant effect on whether the animal is able to fly or not. Those animals which fly tend to disperse seeds further than animals of similar body mass which cannot fly. There were also significant effects of taxa and protected areas, with mammals and studies undertaken in protected areas having larger maximum dispersal distances. Given that habitat fragmentation and disturbance drive changes in dispersal communities with knock-on effects for seed dispersal services, there is an increasing need to understand how effective seed dispersers are affected by local and landscape changes. By understanding the distance local species can transport seeds, corridors can be created to increase the potential of between-patch seed dispersal, which in turn will increase diversity and support different communities. Thank you for listening.